I'm Chef Kecia with Chef Kecia's Kitchen, and I'm back with another video. Today we're doing honey mustard pork tenderloin. This thing is so delicious and so tender. I can't wait till you try it. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to get started with our marinade for our pork tenderloin. The first thing we're going to do is get us some brown sugar. And in this container I have brown sugar, and I'm taking 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and I'm putting it in a bowl. Also, be informed that you can mix your marinade in a separate bowl and then pour it over your pork, but I wanted to do it this way. So 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar are going into my bowl. Okay, now that we got our apple cider vinegar in there, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of mustard, 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. We're going to get that squeezed out into our measuring spoon. And then we're going to pour that right on top. Next, and these are all very simple ingredients that you may already have in your pantry, so it shouldn't be hard. I sprinkle over a little salt, so I would say about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, or about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I take my honey, squeeze it into my measuring cup, and this is going to be 1/4 cup of regular honey. Getting it all in there, squeezing it all out. I was kind of out on that day. Well, I was low on that day. So, yeah. But anyway, so I got my honey in, and I'm going to stir all of this together. Just get it all mixed together. And then once I get it all mixed together, I am going to let these babies marinate for an hour. Let them marinate for an hour, and I'm just mixing it all up, getting it spread it into the pork, rubbed into the pork actually. And then I'm going to let it sit in this bowl, like I said, in the refrigerator, covered for 1 hour. And then what I'm going to do, halfway between, like in 30 minutes, I'll let it sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, take it out, flip it, and then sit it back in there for the last 30 minutes. Okay? And then they'll be ready to go. So I'm going to sit these babies in the refrigerator, and we'll be right back. So now that my pork is finished marinated, I'm going to bring it over to the pan, and I'm going to sear it in a very hot pan. And I'm going to sear all sides for 3 minutes. 3 minutes until it gets a nice crust on it, like this right here. Once it gets this nice crust on it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it from the pan. I'm going to add some white wine, some garlic, and some rosemary to the pan to make a sauce. And then I'm going to put all of this in a baking dish. Okay, so now that my pork has been taken out, I'm going to take some white wine and I'm going to deglaze my pan with this white wine. And what that's going to do is just get up all these pieces out that was left behind. So about a 1/4 cup of white wine. I'm going to stir that around to help loosen up those pieces off the bottom of the pan. And then I am going to add my garlic and my rosemary to this pan. Once I get some more of these pieces up off the bottom. Here we go. All right, so you're scraping. Okay, now I'm going to grab my garlic. And I'm going to add just about a half a teaspoon of garlic. You can add more or less, it's up to you, what you like. Okay, got that added in. I'm going to add my rosemary lastly, my rosemary that I just got from my garden. Or from my rosemary plant from outside. I'm going to add that. You're going to let that reduce down a little bit. And then you're going to take your extra sauce that you had left over from your pork. Okay, and then you're going to take your extra sauce that you had left over from your pork and you're going to pour it in. You're going to stir that around. Get all those flavors going together. And you're gonna let this simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then once that finishes simmering, we're gonna take this sauce and we're gonna pour it over our pork in our baking dish. And then we'll be ready for the next step. Now I'm gonna pour this sauce all over the pork. I'm going to cover the pork with aluminum foil, and then once I get it covered, I'm going to put it in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. It doesn't take pork that long to cook. At 145 degrees Fahrenheit, it is done, and you can remove it from the oven and then let it rest. And then you're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes before you serve it. And this is what it looks like when it came out the oven. Okay, now our pork is ready to be plated. I made some garlic mashed potatoes, so I'm going to put my garlic mashed potatoes down on the plate first. This has plenty of butter in it. Let me tell you, it is so buttery, and it has a nice garlic flavor to it, which I love. So we're going to put those down, and we just put a big mound of mashed potatoes, and then we're going to take our pork tenderloin, and we're just going to go around the mashed potatoes and place them in ever so gently. Kind of push them in a little bit, not too hard, but just a little bit so that they can sit. The mashed potatoes kind of serve as a glue, and they can sit on there pretty well and not fall down or slide down. Okay, and then what we're going to do is our sauce that was in our baking dish. What we're going to do with that, we're going to take a spoon, and we're going to place some of that sauce over the pork and over the mashed potatoes. This pork already is full of flavor, but we do have some flavor in that sauce, so we don't want to negate putting some of that sauce onto this dish. Lastly, we did some asparagus as well. We roasted some asparagus. So we're going to take those asparagus and make almost like a teepee with the asparagus around the plate to accent the potatoes and the pork tenderloin. And that's starting to look good already, and it smells amazing. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do, we're going to take a damp paper towel, and we're just going to wipe up the sides because we want a clean plate, a very clean. So I'm going to give you a recap. First, the mashed potatoes, then the pork tenderloin. Then you're going to add sauce, and lastly, you're going to add your asparagus. And there you have it. Okay, this dish was absolutely amazing. So give it a try and let me know what you think. If you have any questions or comments, place it below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this video. I see you on the next one, if the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. Bye.